Hi, welcome to another Valiant Wargames video. So in this video we're going to discuss the Kickstarter that Reaper are running for the Bones range. So Bones is a range of miniatures that they do, generally based on their bigger metal range of miniatures, but they're cast out of a plastic acrylic type material instead, and I'll be showing you more about the material shortly. So what they've done is they've basically taken their range of metal models and they've produced a much cheaper to produce plastic variant. The price range is actually, if we talk about value first, these models were about a quarter of the price, so between a third and a quarter of the price of the larger metal or the same size metal models, the metal equivalents. Now that saving becomes even more dramatic when you look at the dragons that are on offer on the Kickstarter promotion. So for people who don't know what Kickstarter is basically a pledging system where you can pledge money in to help a company develop. So in this case what we're doing effectively is helping Reaper pay for the tooling of the molds that are going to create these models. And as part of that they reward us by providing us with perks, so access to the miniature range. And as more and more people back, it becomes cheaper for them to make the molds, so you get more perks, and it keeps cycling up base. So obviously a lot of people have probably never seen one of the Bones miniatures before, so I wanted to produce this video just to show us the differences and what a Bones model is like compared to some of the other models. So if we take a look at this one, this is one of the sort of ogre figures. Zoom in, there you go. So as you can see, it's a white plastic. Now the first thing to note is it's a very soft plastic. So for example, I can bend the arm. It just bends. I assume it's a memory material because it does go back into shape afterwards. So as you can see. Now at first some people will be looking at that in horror thinking, oh, that's going to be a really poor quality miniature. But it doesn't actually make a huge difference to it. You might think, oh no, the paint's going to crack, but the paint actually holds really well to them. So the detail is still good. Obviously the detail isn't as crisp as metal or resin, but the detail is still, for the price point, very good. Now the Bones range is clearly designed for, I guess the primary use is for roleplay miniatures, where you want to have a lot of creatures that you may only use once, so you need the price point to be right. So as you can see, they're a really good quality miniature, however they're not as good as the metal or resin ranges. Now unfortunately I don't have a metal model of the same miniature, but just to show you a metal model from Reaper compared to the ogre, you can see that the detail is much better and much crisper on the metal model. Interestingly enough, this model I believe will actually be getting made into a bone, so it will be interesting to compare them like for like. What I should have done with a bit of hindsight, I should have ordered the metal version of the same model, but I hope this comparison at least proves something. So how about paint? So what I've done is I've very quickly painted up another Bones model. So this is a troll. Now this isn't meant to be a great paint job, this is obviously meant for RPG use. So to show you that the paint actually does hold even when you manipulate the model, which you can still obviously do. And to paint this model, all I literally did, I undercoated it with a primer. I'll just move that out of the way so it's not focusing on that. So I used an airbrush primer from Vallejo, the Model Air primers, to put a yellow coat underneath it. Then I put a green undercoat from Citadel, dry brushed 2 shades of green, and then applied an ink wash, and that was it. Literally that's all I did. Took about 5 minutes if you discount drying time. And that's all I really wanted, because I wanted a nice simple miniature that I can use on a tabletop in an RPG scenario without having to worry about spending hours on it. And it worked perfect for that. The miniature equated to a couple of dollars or equivalent in price, and you've got a nice model that you can use straight off. So just to show people paint going on, I'll just put a little bit of paint on the other model. So this is just a Citadel base colour. So if I let it focus, you can see it actually goes on really well. So this is just a Citadel base, straight out of the pot, it's not been watered down. So I think it's fairly true, you probably don't need to prime these miniatures. So hopefully you found this video useful to show you the differences between a Bones miniature and a traditional metal miniature. I think the Kickstarter is still really good value. You're getting hundreds of different miniatures for around about $100 if you go for the best option. Then you can add lots of other miniatures to it. In particular, have a look at the dragons, because there's some beautiful dragons appearing now, and literally you just have to pay $10 towards the pledge if you've already got one of the high rated pledges, and you get one of these dragons, which are going to be like 7-8 inches tall. So that's going to be great. So as I say, I'll put a link to the Reaper Kickstarter in the notes below, and hopefully you found this video useful. Have a look at Valiant War Games web store, see if there's anything that we stock that you might be interested in. Thank you.